Hello, everyone. Welcome. Let me get this set up real quick here for everyone. We'll give it a minute or two longer just to get everybody in here. Hmm. Give it about one more minute and then we'll get started. Well, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar, What the SBA Can Do for Entrepreneurs and Small Business Owners in the South Dakota area. My name is Jenny Tepesky, and I am the Programming and Communications Manager here at the Better Business Bureau Midwest Plains. I wanted to let everyone know that we are capturing this webinar today, and later on this afternoon or by tomorrow morning, I will have a follow-up email sent out to all of you. So you can have a link to the webinar, the presentation information, as well as some of the helpful websites that are discussed today. Today, with the Small Business Administration, the SBA, and its resource partners, they're going to be able to talk to you today about how they can assist entrepreneurs and small business owners with counseling, advising, and training. Additionally, you'll be able to gain knowledge about lending programs, including the definition of an SBA loan and how to obtain one. We are fortunate to have Bryson Patterson, the Deputy District Director of the South Dakota District Office, as our special guest today. We just ask that if you have any questions to please put them in the Q&A section, and we will answer all the questions at the end of the presentation. So we will go ahead and get started. Bryson, welcome and thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Jenny. Really appreciate you and the BBB. Thank you for hosting us today. Yep, please, folks, put those questions in the chat. As Jenny said, I'm the Deputy District Director here at the SBA South Dakota District Office. We have got a small team here. Let's see if I can get these slides to move. Oh, I think I got it. There we go. It's myself, my boss, District Director Jamie Wood. We've got also Lisa Clausen, who's our Business Opportunity Specialist, and Jake Drogue, who's our Business Development Specialist. Lisa and Jake work in the contracting portion of SBA, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So this is our team of four. We cover 77,000 square miles, about 100,000 businesses here in South Dakota. But here to help you and your business. SBA, our mission is to help small businesses to start, grow, expand, and recover. And we're going to talk about each of those things in some detail. Small businesses are so important. They're really the backbone of our economy. The majority of Americans work in small businesses. They provide the majority of our employment. South Dakota is a state that is particularly small business heavy in our economy. We've got a lot of small businesses in our major sectors, including tourism and healthcare and agriculture. So very important to our state. Disasters. Unfortunately, disasters have been a little bit in the news lately. They're something that we need to be thinking about as small business owners, personally too, but as small business owners, to have some disaster preparedness. I know we've seen quite a few tornadoes across the Midwest already this year. I'm sure we're going to get our turn here in South Dakota, as we do most springs. But to be thinking about, hey, what can I do? And why is it so important? And it's so important because they say an estimated 25% of businesses don't reopen after a major disaster. That's it. They just don't keep going. So we want people to be prepared, make a plan, have an idea of what you're going to do. You can check out sba.gov/prepare to create that plan and think about, hey, what would happen if? I always tell people, small business, running a small business, it's a team sport. And one of the players on your team is your insurance agent. Have you checked your coverages lately? We've been experiencing a tremendous amount of inflation the last few years, and things, building costs have gone up, those sorts of things. So think about your coverages. Do you have the right amount of coverage? Do you have the right coverage for your business? And that's always something to think about. In the event of a disaster, SBA makes available economic injury disaster loans. So these are long-term loans at low interest rates that cover uninsured loss. So if you've got uninsured loss, you can borrow money to rebuild your business. But definitely something folks always need to be thinking about. If not front of mind, at least to have a plan for it. So SBA, we talk about disaster and we also talk about contracting. Contracting, SBA is responsible for administering the 8A Business Development Program, historically underutilized business zone program, women-owned small business program, and service disabled veteran owned business program. 23% of all SBA contracts of all federal contracts are set aside for small businesses. Those can just be, regular small businesses or small businesses which participate in one of these programs. The 8A Business Development Program is a 8-year program that allows, or 10-year program that allows businesses to get into the federal supply chain. And it's for businesses who have experienced economic or social disadvantage. The Hub Zone program, the historically underutilized business program, you can check that out to see if your business is in a hub zone. There's large hub zone areas across South Dakota. The entire county of Brookings is a governor declared hub zone. So if you're in Brookings County, this is something to look into if contracting is a way for you to go. Women-owned small business program is the set-aside program for women and women-owned businesses in certain NAICS codes, so where women have historically not been active in contracting with the federal government. And then the service disabled veteran-owned small business program for service disabled vets. All the information on these programs, you can check it out at certified.sba.gov. And you can learn more about how you can contract with the federal government. As I said, 23% of all federal contracts are set aside for small businesses. In 2016, the federal spend was $100 billion. So I'm not great at math, but 23% of $100 billion is $23 billion. That's a lot of market. That's a lot of money that's out there. So if you're in an industry, in a sector where there is a government, a large government buy, it's something that you definitely want to check out. Assistance available to help people with their contracts. One of our great partners is our Apex Center. Apex Accelerators, formerly known as the PTAC or Procurement Technical Assistance Center. This is a program where you can speak one-on-one and work directly with a small business counselor who understands the system for award management, SAM. They can help you get on there. They can help you come up with a plan for how you're going to market your business. They can help you with your capability statement. So these are tremendous business professionals that you can access for free. It's no cost to you. Their whole job is to help get new businesses into the federal space. State director here in South Dakota is Marcella Hurley. She is tremendous. incredibly knowledgeable. She's been working with small businesses for 2 decades or more. Um, and a lot of folks know her from around the state. We've got Apex offices in Rapid City, in Pierre. We just brought Sunny Hill on as he just joined the team. He comes with a lot of experience also in federal contracting. And then we've got Jen and Fred down in Yankton. So reach out to the Apex if federal contracting is something that you could see yourself doing. These are a great resource for folks to leverage. Now, SBA Surety Bond Program. This comes into play for small businesses who are contracting with the federal government. Or even if you're not, maybe you're in an industry where you need to provide surety bonds. SBA provides a guarantee to the bond company that allows them to make a larger bond available to you. Oftentimes, a small business, they'll be working in construction, but they'll have a bond limit that kind of limits their ability to bid on larger contracts, particularly those that relate to government contracting. Right? The government contracts tend to be quite big. So you can talk to your bond agent if you're a small business and ask them, hey, I'm eligible for the SBA Surety Bond Program, and you can leverage those surety bonds, those guarantees to get larger bonds, so you can bid on larger contracts. So great tool, very helpful if you're a business in this space. Okay, we talked a little bit about disaster. What happens if? We talked a little bit about federal contracting and the resources that are available to folks in federal contracting. Okay, so now what about everybody else? Okay, everybody's good to have a disaster. Not everybody's doing federal contracting, but everybody needs assistance for business. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the resources that are available here in South Dakota for small business owners. We've got a bunch of partner organizations with tremendous professionals that you can talk to that can help you with your business. First up, I would like to talk a little bit about our women's business centers. Women's business centers are open to men. We've got 2 women's business centers, one in Sioux Falls and one in Spearfish. Comprehensive training and counseling, you can talk to for free a small business counselor. Elizabeth Freer is the director out in Spearfish. They do regular events and meetings throughout Western South Dakota, and including Rapid and all the cities there west of the river. And here in Sioux Falls, we've got our Women's Business Center East. So please, these guys do a tremendous job if you want to talk to somebody to get that free advice and counseling. They also run a number of training events. So, feel free to check out their website. I've got it here on the slide. And check out their events. They've got a bunch of cool events. I know they're doing an event in Chamberlain here coming up pretty soon. Great way to network and connect with other business owners. Small business development centers. So we've got 7 small business development centers across the state: Sioux Falls, Yankton, Pierre, Watertown, Brookings, Rapid City. So everybody's within a short drive, more or less, of a small business development center, or you can meet with folks over the phone. Small business development centers are staffed by business counselors, folks who have been working with businesses for years and years, and day in and day out. So when you come into the Small Business Development Center, you have a question, they're going to they're going to help you with your question. They're also going to ask you questions about maybe some things that you hadn't considered before. So I always recommend for folks to take advantage of this free resource. It costs you nothing as the business owner to go in and meet with those folks. They can help you do projections. So if you need to do financial projections, to think about, hey, like I want to take out a loan, before you meet with the bank, sit down and meet with one of these counselors. They'll talk you through those projections. They'll look at, okay, so what if we borrowed, $50,000 or $100,000? What if we purchased our building? What would that do to our cash flow? What would that look like? Do we need a down payment? How much business would we have to do to justify purchasing this new piece of equipment? All stuff that their business counselors can help you with. in addition to a lot of other services. Here's the contact information for the Yankton, Rapid City, and Pierre offices. And you can check out their website, sdbusinesshelp.com. sdbusinesshelp.com gets you connected to our South Dakota Small Business Development Center. Okay, another resource that's out there for small businesses, those of you who think you might be exporting. So if you currently export or you think there might be a market for your product internationally, I want to point you towards two resources. One is the U.S. Commercial Service. This is another federal agency like the Small Business Administration. We've got our senior international trade specialist, Cinnamon King, located with us here in Sioux Falls. She covers all of the state. And she's here, but her colleagues sit in U.S. embassies throughout the world. And so if you come and speak to her, she can help you work out, is there a market for my product in Canada? She can get on the phone with you and her colleagues in Canada who are industry experts in that market and talk about your product and what might be the possibilities for finding foreign buyers for your product. So working with her and the Small Business Development Center, you can also craft an export business plan. So this is a business plan not just for your business, but to take your business into this new market and come up with a strategy for how you're going to identify your potential foreign buyers and meet with them. Now, they offer a service called the Gold Key service. You can travel into country, meet with potential buyers. They'll set up the meetings for you. They'll handle the logistics for you. And it costs you, I think it's a $500. I think it's $500 to purchase that service. Okay, U.S. Commercial Service. Another new partner we have here in South Dakota is South Dakota Trade. South Dakota Trade is SBA's STEP grant partner, the State Trade Expansion Program. And South Dakota Trade can provide grant funding to your business to go international. And so that might be using the Department of Commerce, International Trade Administration Gold Key service, going overseas, meeting with potential buyers, or it might be something like internationalizing your website, right? If someone wanted to read your website in Polish, could they? Do you have it translated? If you do, is it searchable on a Polish search engine? Is Poland your right market? These are questions that they can talk to you about. They can help you analyze the data, figure out what might be the good market for you. South Dakota Trade, and then they can pay for some of those services to help you get into international business. Or if you're already exporting, that stuff they can do. Here's a few of the other services that South Dakota Trade has. They do trade missions, international trade consulting, so you can talk to a trade consultant. And then they do a number of trainings throughout the state. I encourage you to check out their website, get on their list. If you think that, if you are exporting, if you are actively trying to export, or if you think there might be something down the road for your business, get connected with them. And, maybe, you want to engage with them in some way. Maybe it's just initially just doing some training, and then down the road, some consulting and developing that export business plan. Veteran Business Outreach Center of the Dakotas. We are very fortunate to have a really strong veteran business outreach program. And you can check out their website, und.edu/Dakota VBOC, the VBOC, we call it. Business counseling, training. The Veteran Business Outreach Center hosts our Reboot and Boots to Business, where we assist veterans and active duty military personnel to transition to business ownership. Also, mil spouses are eligible for all the VBOC programs. Check out their website. It's a great place to connect with folks and also get that free business counseling from great business counselors. Okay, another one, SCORE. Score.org. Now, SCORE used to stand for Service Corps of Retired Executives, which is what it is. Now it's just SCORE, but it's still a Service Corps of Retired Executives. So these are people who have been in business. Most of them have owned their own business. Some of them are accountants. They're not all retired. There's a lot of folks who are, still active, who are part of SCORE. But these are mentors that you can connect with. This is a tremendously powerful resource. They've got over 10,000 mentors across the whole country. So if you're a small business owner and you have some kind of niche business, and let's be frank, all of our businesses are sort of niche businesses, right? Like no one business is like the other. We live in a very technical society. Um, and so maybe you want to talk to somebody who has operated a dairy business. You could search score.org and find mentors who've got that experience working in the dairy industry. Talk to them, and they might not be local. They might be somebody from across the country. But perhaps you prefer to connect with somebody locally. You can do that as well. We've got a great chapter here in South Dakota of SCORE volunteers. Very proud to work alongside them. But just tremendous business advice that they can give you, and really specific and practical advice. I'll give one example. Our chapter president, Del Carver, he always tells the story of, he was working with an entrepreneur who wanted to do a board game, and he invented a board game and wanted to sell it. And of course, they had a SCORE volunteer who had worked for one of the board game companies, one of the big ones, and had, then I think she went on to consult, and she had, many of the board games that you might play if you play board games. She's had a hand in bringing them to market. So they were able to set up a, a remote counseling session with her, right from South Dakota to the East Coast, and we're able to talk through, like, what you do to do a board game and get it sold. So SCORE, tremendous resource. I'm going to put in a personal plug. If you're listening to this, you're a business owner, you're a retired business owner, you want to become a mentor, I'm putting that invitation out to you. If you've got knowledge and skills that you want to share, if you've been a member of the BBB, and you want to get and you've been active in business and you want to get and become a mentor, check it out. We would love to have you to join, and maybe it's a good fit for you if you want to have that opportunity to give back to other business owners. Check it out, score.org/volunteer/become-mentor, and see if that's something that maybe you want to do. We would love to get some more folks on board to be a part of this great organization. Okay. Now, as Jenny mentioned, we're going to talk a little bit about lending, SBA loans, what they are, how to get them, and how they can help you. So, high level, basically three main loan programs, the 504, the 7A, and the microloan program. So the 504 is owner occupied commercial real estate. So this is small business wants to buy their building, right? So, and we see this a lot, a business will open, they'll be in a place downtown, they're renting it. Boy, it makes sense now. We should buy this place, or maybe we should buy another place and move into it. That's where 504 can work for you. 7A loans are everything in the kitchen sink, revolving lines of credit, term loans, equipment purchases. They can do owner-occupied commercial real estate. All of SBA. One thing we don't do: passive ownership, passive investment. So, we don't do apartment buildings and residential stuff. We don't do tenant occupied real estate. But if you're a small business owner and you want to own your building, great option to check out. Our microloans are available in South Dakota through Grow South Dakota. Grow South Dakota is our partner, great partner of SBA. They provide our SBA microloans. So these are loans up to $50,000 on the SBA side, but Grow has a number of different programs that they offer, so they can do loans that are much larger than that. But they can do small, medium loans with a variety of terms and conditions. So oftentimes microloans are used by folks who aren't ready for that traditional bank loan yet. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good place to be because we've got Grow and our other micro lenders who can fill that gap and that need. And they're terrific to work with. So you go into the bank, why would you want to do an SBA loan? Maybe you don't need an SBA loan actually, right? Like if you can get the credit without the SBA guarantee, that's awesome. I think that's a win. That's what we all want. We want that solution for you to be able to access the credit you need. Now, if you can't, if there's an issue, you've got, a credit issue, a collateral issue, cash flow issue, like those are all things sometimes that cause the bank to want to put that guarantee on there. What is the SBA guarantee? It's a guarantee to the bank. It's not a guarantee to the business owner. So if the loan goes bad, the SBA will make the bank whole up to typically 75%, but in certain instances up to 90% of their loss. The bank's always got skin in the game. They want to see you succeed. SBA wants to see you succeed. But that's the way they work. What can be a business? What can be a benefit? So longer terms, oftentimes, you might be able to get credit conventionally, but the term might not actually work out. It might be too short, or it might have a balloon, and that might be something that would jeopardize your business into the future. Oftentimes, we'll see business owners opt for SBA because they've got those longer terms and more stable payment or repayment structures. Lower equity requirements. So oftentimes, you might qualify for a loan, but you don't have the down payment to make it happen. An SBA guarantee can help bridge that, not directly, but by restructuring the loan to require a lower down payment. And we talked a little bit about those longer payment terms and better cash flows. So definitely a tool that you've got in your toolbox. Oh, come on. Trying to get this thing to advance for me. Now it's going to go like 4. Okay, so we talked a little bit about the different programs. SBA loan maximums, $5 million. Guarantees, like I said, between 50 and 90%. Typically, an SBA loan is going to have a 75% guarantee. SBA works here in South Dakota. We're working with 63 financial institutions across the state. So lots of lenders, pretty much. If you've got a lender in your town, they're going to have an SBA option. You just need to ask them about it. We've got interest rate ceilings and really flexible terms as far as the length of the loan and the down payment for what makes sense for your business. A little bit about that microloan program, up to $50,000. Now that's for the SBA program. Grow provides a number of different products. So if 50,000 doesn't make sense, then maybe you need a larger loan amount. That can work too. They also have credit builder program at Grow South Dakota. So if you've got bad credit or no credit, they'll help you build your credit by giving you loans that you can pay back and get reported to the credit bureaus. They also help you, and this is important, setting up your business's credit itself. So creating a credit profile for your business that's separate from you as the business owner, which I think it's critical for getting that business to the next level, to get them to stand on their own and have their own credit. And so Grow can help you to do that. The other thing that's great about the SBA microloan program is that it comes with free credit counseling. So you're always going to have your lender involved with your business and checking in on you and helping you to manage that loan and the loan repayment. So that's a good program for people. Okay, we talked a little bit about the loan and getting the loan. What are banks going to be looking at? They're going to be looking at those 5 C's. So character, including, your credit history and what that looks like. the history of your business, your cash flow. This is important. You know, how are you going to pay this loan back? Ultimately, it's going to be from the cash flow of the business, right? So we want to look at, can this business sustain that loan repayment? What kind of cash flow are we looking at? This is again where you can get a lot of assistance from the Women's Business Center, the Small Business Development Center, or even the SCORE mentors to do those cash flow projections. And really the SBDCs, they've got great programs to help you do that. The other C is collateral. What's going to be the collateral for the loan? Oftentimes, the reason you're asking for the loan is because of that collateral itself, right? So, you're going to buy a piece of equipment or a building or something like that. Capitalizations. So what does that look like? And also the conditions, what's going on with the conditions in the economy and your ability to repay. So those are all the things that are sort of in the lender's mind as they're talking to you and evaluating your loan. I really encourage you before you go in to ask for that loan, just make an appointment with the Small Business Development Center to really put that loan package together. They'll help you do it, and they'll help you to really put your best foot forward as you're going to the lending table. One of the tools that we've developed is Lender Match. So you can go online, talk about what you need. The Lender Match will take your information and share it with SBA lenders who are interested in talking to you. So then you'll be able to meet with those lenders and go through with the loan application. Again, sba.gov/lender match. Couple of easy questions talking about yourself, and then it'll give you some options and some lenders to connect with. I always tell people the best place to get a loan is with your bank, right? The bank that you have now, they know you, they have your accounts. That's the best place to start. But you can use this tool if you need to contact a lender, or if you can't get the credit that you need to grow your business where you are. And not all lenders want to do all loans. It, it might just not be a good fit for that lender at that time. And so maybe it's time to look elsewhere. So we talked about SBA resources. We talked about disaster assistance, government contracting, and the assistance that you can get from the Apex centers. We also talked about other SBA resource partners. A bunch of them are listed here: the Small Business Development Center, the South Dakota Trade, some others that we didn't really have time to talk about are South Dakota Biotech. They're offering us a program right now for new businesses that are in the biotech industry. So, they're helping them get started. And then also our South Dakota Manufacturing and Technology Solutions. This is a grant from the National Institute of Science and Technology, NIST, where they assist businesses to improve their manufacturing processes. A great partner of ours here in Sioux Falls is Startup Sioux Falls, who's hosting our Community Navigators grant. This is and they're doing cohorts of new businesses across South Dakota that are starting up. So anyway, lots of great resources here. I didn't have a chance to go into all of them, but just sort of gives you an idea of some more stuff that's out there, including some of the things that we talked about as far as what we have to help you with. So I don't know, Jenny, if we got any questions in the chat here. I'm happy to answer questions about SBA and our programs.
Thank you so much. So I have a question. In regards to the Small Business Administration, what constitutes as a small business in regards to employee size?
Sure. Most businesses would qualify as small. We've got a number of different criteria, but if you've got fewer than 100 employees, you're pretty much going to qualify as a small business. even in some industries, it's based on the industry. So for manufacturing businesses, actually, you could have fewer than 500 employees. So the vast majority of businesses count as small. I think that if most that is most folks. So pretty much most businesses would be eligible for SBA programs and services.
And why is it important to actually go to a lender and have an in-person relationship versus just going online and filling out a application for a loan?
That's a great question. Yeah, thanks, Jenny. I appreciate that. I really, as I said before, I really think that business is a team sport. That, going it alone, you only know what you know. And, if anybody tells you, well, I know everything about business, nobody knows everything about business. There's so many aspects of businesses, from lending to accounting to insurance, to your business itself, and you probably know your business really well. You know your suppliers, you know your customers, you know your product. But there's only so much, so many hours in a day, right? And so I always encourage people, your banker should be part of your small business team. That should be a person that you trust, that you can talk to, that you can call them, on Wednesday and be like, hey, I got payroll on Friday. Can I get some help? Or, this reason, this week was bad for this reason. That's the kind of relationship that I think you really want, and I really see benefits. I really see businesses benefit from that kind of relationship. We're very fortunate here in South Dakota to have a lot of regional and community, and even the local presence of national banks that you can leverage, that you can talk to, that there's people you can pick up the phone and get to know who can help you understand the financial position of your business and help you to get in a good position for that loan. So that's out there. And I think you also need to be aware, there's a lot of internet lending out there that's has different rules than what we would have, for a brick and mortar store. So just something to be thinking about when you're doing that. And I really do think business it is about relationships. You as a business owner, my guess is you want to build relationships with your customers. Your banker's the same way. That's what your business banker wants to do. And I say, hey, let them do that and help them to do that.
In regards to like disaster relief, when a disaster strikes, how can somebody apply for help in regards to that with the SBA?
Absolutely. So typically it takes us a little while to get those disaster loans like open for any specific disaster. Uh, but you can find information on that sba.gov/disaster. So once a disaster happens, you can go there to apply for SBA relief. But I always tell people the first thing to do is hit that FEMA website and apply at FEMA. Make sure FEMA knows who you are, where you are, what kind of damage you've had. And that's going to help to inform that decision as they move forward with disaster declarations and those sorts of things. So that would be sort of the first thing. But even before that, first make sure everybody's okay, right? That's the top priority. Check everything, make sure everybody's okay, get to a safe place, and then we'll start worrying about how we're going to fix things and how we're going to rebuild.
Thank you. I appreciate all of your time today, Bryson. Just a few more quick things. SBA does have a survey for you guys to give your feedback on. Let them know how they're doing and how they can help you as well. There's a QR code for you there. Also, just wanted to let you know about some upcoming events that we have here at the Bureau. Please go to our website, bbbinc.org, throughout the year just to see the upcoming events we have. This is just a small portion of what we have coming up for May and the beginning of June. And then we also just like to remind everybody that on September 24th, it will be our 27th annual Torch of Awards Ethics Luncheon. And this week we will be announcing who the winners are on Thursday afternoon. So we're excited about that. Again, I am Jenny Tekeski. And here's my contact information. If you have any ideas or events that you would like to see us do on behalf of the Bureau or to possibly come out and present for you, please let me know. I would love to discuss those opportunities with you. We thank all of you for your time today and coming out to this webinar. We hope that you're excited to utilize what the SBA has to offer. And we greatly appreciate you, Bryson, for your time. I know you're extremely busy right now with everything too. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Jenny. Really appreciate you and the BBB for hosting this event. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. And then lastly, as well, we as well have a survey. Please let us know how we're doing. Give us your feedback. We're always striving to do better and be the best. So please let us know. Again, we will get this recording out to you later on today or early tomorrow morning, as well as all of the helpful websites and resources that Bryson discussed. So thank you, everyone. Hope you have a wonderful day and stay safe out there. Bye.
Thanks, Jenny.